Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the fourth round of PlayStation PSGL racing here with Formula 2 action. It's 7 o'clock. It's Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. I'm Otaku Logan. He's T-Dub. And what a night of action we have in store for you. Don't we, T-Dub?
Yes, we do, around what is still, I think, technically counts as a street circuit, although it does still have some traditional racing values. Yeah, it should be a good one. Hopefully we see some nice battles, as we usually do at Canada.
Yeah, everyone's leaving already. I don't know what they're scared about. It is pretty sunny. But everyone knows Canada is I think it's called the Ian Notre Dame. It is situated on. This actually was a man-made island. It was built for the 1976 Olympics in Montreal. After all, it is in Montreal. This is where the rowing was held. No, not on this track. You can't row. It's water. There's a big pool of water, and they use that for the rowing. You know where they use the employees of the track, the employees of the racing, use it as an annual social gathering, a race. They race a boat across the river and then back again. Not the river, the pond.
I have to say, when we get the wide shots of this track in the intros to the Formula 1 broadcasts, it looks absolutely stunning.
It does. Yes, it is a street circuit. It has got street circuit features. I say it's tougher than Australia to navigate. All the drivers are making their way out. Lifeboat the first, as he comes through the first two corners. Now, last week, as we've seen Lifeboat set his lap, we somewhat went viral. As you know, there was a big glitch with a tyre flying in Belgium. I believe it was McKiller's tyre after he had a crash with Frank Deshoyne. He knocked them both out the race. That tyre went on Jarno Opmeer's Instagram and got 20,000 likes. And we didn't get any credit from it. Thanks, Jarno. Nah, just kidding. I don't want the credit. It's just crazy to think that I got there. We're not after any fame, of course. We just do this for a hobby. So, yeah, that's something interesting. As we come to Le Pingul, I apologise, my French-Canadian is horrible.
Yeah, my French GCSE not going to help me here either. Was very deep into the turn 10 hairpin, though. Wasn't life out. So, going to compromise this run all the way up into the 13-14 chicane with the infamous Wall of Champions.
Yes, it's very easy to... Oh, my goodness, he just slapped the wall. Did you see that? That was a slap of Wall of Champions. That was a Wall of Slaps Champions, that. 1:08.008. That's insane.
I cannot believe he didn't get invalidated. One for absolutely flying over both of those curbs. And also, I'm pretty sure this might just be a time trial thing, but I've seen it happen in qualifying sessions as well. If you tap the barrier too hard, you can get invalidated for it. I think Monaco is one of the big ones.
Yes, you can. Yes, collided with a wall. That can happen. No one's even come close. 3 attempts. George Ansel's come. And Koolman, by the way, has got a qualifying ban, so he'll be taking no further part in the session. He's allowed to get a trial run, but he's not allowed to set a lap. So that's the end of him today. He has a qualifying ban, we should mention. Chris Rebel got a penalty removed last week for being forced off the track. My goodness, Kevin's sending it through those turns. He's got invalidation anyway, so it won't matter. Diego Silva crossing the line and only goes 8th. Oh, 1:08.888. That's very lucky in China, and considering there's a casino nearby, that could pretty much help. Doesn't matter in this thing. Yes, there's a casino on this island as well, but it doesn't host anything like big poker tournaments like Monaco does, or Las Vegas, obviously. World Series of Poker. American Express is sponsoring us. Imagine, we're not sponsored by credit card companies, unfortunately. We're sponsored by the lovely guys at GT Omega and Sim Racing Centre.
Yes, we are. We'll go one by one as we get through the end of the first runs. I'll start off with GT Omega. If you head over there, want some brilliant sim racing equipment to get your hands on, they've got loads of the best products in the game, and you use the code PSGL at checkout. That'll give you 5% off.
Look how gorgeous that pit garage is. It is just a work of art. The year they introduced it, Sebastian Vettel got a penalty.
That is a good stat.
Yeah, that penalty where he took the one board and put it on his own. The most devilish I've seen Vettel, even more than when he was at Red Bull.
That's a good shout,
Now
actually,
he's
yeah.
now he's goody two shoes John Cena.
Lifeboat, by the way, already coming out for a second flying lap.
Yeah, he's not wasting any time. 13 minutes, he can get 5 laps out of this. Maybe not 5, but 4 definitely.
Yeah, this will probably be one of the only circuits, maybe Austria and potentially Brazil as well, that you could get 4 runs in a qualifying session.
4! So, we've got as we know, we are back on the F1 cars. Lifeboat is in the McLaren. Haas, as you know, are dominating it, but Sergioli is not here tonight, so he won't be able to get his third win of the season, but Epic Vale can make up for that. So there will definitely the big chance that Haas could be overturned tonight.
But Epic Vale will increase the championship lead. Currently sat at 9 points back to teammate Sergioli. And then you have to go a further 14 back to ASRT Christian, who's been incredibly consistent so far. No podiums, but 2 sixth places and a fourth. But 23 points off the back of Epic Vale. And like you said, they're also not here. So we've got to go back to Finlay in fourth, who is 25 points behind Epic Vale.
Yeah. Was there anything interesting on TV? I wonder.
No, I don't think anything's happened recently.
Ah, okay. Anyway, we have a driver sitting their second lap. Where is... Oh dear, that's Chris Rebel in the wall. Oh dear, Chris Rebel has been disqualified from blocking the pit lane. Quite harsh, but, you know, he was struggling around there for quite a while. Lifeboat is actually 0.38 down. It's 0.038 down. Now that's incredibly consistent considering what the final sector had in store. I'm not sure if he's going to beat that. But he might as well go for it because 3 attempts is going to be hard to overcome. How he whacks the wall of champions and live to tell the tale bedazzles me, if that's even a word. He's doing it again. Okay, he's not as successful this time. I think he will be... I'm done. That's it.
I have to say,
I'm done. There is no way he just got into the 107s.
You've got to remember back to his first lap, though, because the run through the hairpin of turn 10 wasn't particularly good, was late on the brakes and was absolutely nowhere near the apex. This time he got through it much better. The rotation was much nicer as Nordic Ninja retires and has left the session. That's not ideal at all. But didn't lose too much time through the chicane, and first driver into the 7s. George Ansell has got to within a couple of tenths, but it's still an 8.1. Yeah,
that's it for qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. The wheels died on Nordic Ninja. He'll be back.
Ooh, yikes.
Maybe.
The wheels saw the time that Lifebout put in and just went, nah.
Jan's on a lap. But yes, that is incredible. I'm sure it's not over, but I was not expecting that to be the time. I thought he was just doing a Ross Chastain. Well, you can't do Ross Chastain in this game. He's probably getting validated. You can Ross Chastain the... what's it called? Casino. What's the corner before Casino?
Oh, it's Massenet?
Massenet, that's the one. Not very good with my corners. I just call him turn this, turn that. Speaking of Jan, he's actually going through turn 9, approaching turn 10, which is called Le Pingo, which means the hairpin in French. French Canadian. There's different dialect to it.
Simple.
Alright, Nordic Ninja's back, but he's out of the session.
Kevin's backing out of that one. Was up through the first couple of sectors, but obviously didn't fancy it. We'll have to see what Jan can do. Also jumping into the pits. A lot of drivers, I have to say, made mistakes on their second runs. Epic Vale invalidated, so did Evan Nye, so did Soapbox. So really difficult to try and get that car hooked up unless you're in a Papaya McLaren driven by Lifebout.
Yeah, McLaren extra DRS flap is helping. That's not relevant in this game. They're all equal, allegedly. Freezers.
Freezers the water in the wheels.
Oh God. Oh, Nordic Ninja's left again. He'll be back later. He doesn't need to rejoin because he's already no longer in the session. And Fraser's on a lap. He kicked Sauber
Oh, a little bit wibbly and wobbly.
Wiggly. Oh my word, he's even more wobblier through 3 and 4.
How he's kept this out of the barrier, got no idea. 0.2 of a second up, though, through the first sector. This is probably the most challenging sequence of corners on the track because the traction through that little complex is very difficult.
Yeah, but you see, to beat Lifeboat's time, he needs to be over a second ahead, so he's already climbed one part of a massive mountain. Let's see what his second time is. Yeah, still a quarter of a second down. He's probably only going to get to like 8th or 9th at this rate, unless he has a banger third sector. So here comes Fraser. Finley there as well before Lipingle. So Fraser coming down in that Kick Sauber, which will remain Kick Sauber until 2026. Audi, my God, trying to pull it right through the wall of champions and both across the line. P7. That's better than I thought he'd do, so not too bad, but still a long way to go to get to Lifeboat.
Yeah, it's incredible looking at Lifeboat's time. I mean, I look at that and I go, where are the 0.6 of a second? Because it looked pretty neat and tidy, it has to be said. A couple of slides in there early on as Finlay up into third place in that second Mercedes. Yep. McLaren, Mercedes, Alpine, Aston Martin, the top 5.
And in 2025, I believe Alpine are going to Mercedes engines for the first time since 2015 when they were Lotus, and then they went back to Renault engines next season. But I think this will be a more permanent affair.
Yes, Epic Vale still struggling, by the way. Invalidated again, sat in 7th now on an 8.5. The driver currently leading the championship, having a few trials and tribulations at the moment here in Montreal.
Yeah, Canada's mixing things up, and it usually likes to mix things up. Remember the time Jenson Button went from last to first?
The greatest race of all time, no questions asked. And
it lasted 4 hours! 4 blooming hours! Now you can't have that. It's got to be within, is it 3 hours or 2.5? I'm sure they changed it to 2.5 recently.
I think it's 3 hours.
Yeah, I think
3
it's
hours
either
to have the 2 hour race.
Definitely, probably 3. Yeah, I think it should be until it gets to sunset. But you know, what else?
McKillany, improvement by the way, up into 7th, pushes Epic Vale down into 8th place, so he's going again in that Haas, and he's down in the first sector, so Epic Vale is really struggling here in qualifying.
Yeah, so Saki goes back up to 3rd with a 108.193, beg your pardon. Lifeboat is improving again, uh-oh. Oh,
that could be worrying. Jan up to the line as well, onto the front row, 8.0, just ahead of George Ansel and Yasser Saki. A 10th down still on Lifeboat, but if that McLaren continues to find time, this could be an incredibly large gap. Still about a third of a 10th up.
Oh, and he's locked up, and he's given up. What's he doing? He's got all the time in the world to get another lap, and he's still well ahead by... We say well ahead, this is F2 after all. Over a 10th ahead, and you've got all these drivers which are in a 10th of each other, and especially here as well. Who are we looking at? McKillany's backed off. Zane's on a lap. He's improving. No, he's not. No, he's not. Why is he? Why they say
he's just improved?
Already, yes, he has. I read them all wrong.
Epic Vale as well has set a new personal best, but doesn't actually improve positionally. Still in 9th place on an 8.4. Championship leader could be starting right in the thick of it.
Oh dear, but you know what they're capable of? Epic drives.
They certainly are.
Has Nordic Ninja rejoined? Because he left the Royal back.
I think there was still some wheel issues.
That's really unfortunate. Sorry. I'm very sorry.
Absolutely on point.
Yeah, he's still in.
KSI reference. It wasn't intentional, I promise. I did think about it when I said it, though. From the ring. What is it? From the ring to the in the thick of it. It wasn't an intentional one. From the ring to the. I don't know how it goes.
Oh, I haven't listened to KSI in ages. I stopped watching KSI when he was all about that Prime drink.
Prime. I tell you what, it's prime time in quali now.
Oh,
Bang.
no.
Here a week.
You're worse than me.
Shame we don't have the prime tyres anymore.
Well, they still use that reference on the pits, I think.
I think they do, yeah, because I haven't heard them talk about prime. I've definitely heard them talk about option tyres.
Yeah, so as you can see, the Papaya Orange, which in my opinion should be white and orange, in tribute to the old Senna era livery when they were sponsored by a certain tobacco company, which we cannot mention.
No.
Just like we can't mention a certain gambling company in reference to Kick Sauber. We can't advertise these games to certain kind of people.
I have to say, I think the livery will be white next year, white and orange. Just with the reception that Singapore livery got, I mean, it was absolutely stunning.
I mean, it's going to add weight to the car. 2 minutes left in the session. Lifeboat is going to kick us off in this final round of qualifying laps. He goes across the beam and into the first corner, which is what Fernando Alonso used to mess around with in 2007. This is a track where Lewis Hamilton won in a McLaren in 2007. Has he already backed off?
Yes.
Oh, I know what he's doing. He's going to do another lap. He's going to do it with 1 lap of fuel because he doesn't have to come back in, of course. I'm not really a fan of that, really. Maybe they could change it next season, make it more interesting. I think Kevin's is on the lap, but he is last of the bunch. He's not actually had a representative time. And in all honesty, he's struggling today. I don't know what is going on, but who else is on the lap? I think George Ansell's on the one. Oh, no, we've lost T-Dub. Oh, dear. We've lost T-Dub. T-Dub is not here. Oh, dear. We do apologise, folks. We've lost him. We'll get him back later. We got to focus on qualifying here. We do apologise about this. Hopefully he can come back. He still has an invite to the party, I'm sure. But now we've got to go back to qualifying. Lifeboat is going to start his final lap. 28 seconds left, and it's going to be tough to tame him, to be fair. So who's going to come across the line? George Ansell on his final lap. He brings it right through the final chicane. Is his time going to be good enough? No, it's not. He's much closer. 3/4 of a tenth of a second. Jan is improving, but it's not going to be big enough improvement to get ahead. 2 seconds, 1 second. Time is up, and he won't get another lap, and he's third. Now, who else is across the line? McIlhenny doesn't improve on his position. Zane is in the pit and retired. I don't think there's any more. I don't think anyone else can improve. Kevin's finally got a representative time. He's jumped Diogo Silva. I think this session's over. He doesn't have to do another lap. Lifeboat has held on unless there's an improvement from Kevin's, who is invalidated. Evan Nye's not going to get anywhere. Fraser's not getting anywhere. Epic Bale's not going to get anywhere. Finley is not getting anywhere. That's it. That is it. Lifeboat, your pole position, man. Post-patch is having problems, it seems. I've been told. So yes, Lifeboat gets a point for pole position. Right, I do apologise for losing T-Dub. I don't know what happened there. 1 second, please. Right, got him back there. So, just to confirm, it is not T-Dub, it is Lifeboats that is going to be taking pole position here at the Circuit Canada. And we have lost T-Dub. We may have to get a replacement if needed. We lost him due to a disconnection. So there is your grid. It is Lifeboat ahead of George Janso, ahead of Jan. The Alpines are 4th and 5th. Saki ahead of Lawrence. Finley ahead of Zane. Killenly, Epic Vale. Not very impressive in qualifying, have to say. Diego Silver, Freezer, Soapbox, Evan Nye, Kevins, Nordic Ninja, Coolman, and Chris Rebel did not set time. And we have got T-Dub back. Welcome back. You missed nothing.
That was upsetting.
Yeah, you missed nothing. Lifeboat's still on pole, but it was only by 3/4 of a second this time. They did catch up.
Oh, that's pretty close then.
Oh no, it's raining. I hope it's not going to be like this one in the race. This is 2012. It's 2011 all over again, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, the two McLarens are going to crash into each other. Your last lap overtake from last to first. Right.
Have you... I'm completely out of the picture now. Have you done the lobby reset then or not?
Sorry?
Have you done the lobby reset?
No, we've not. We've only just finished the session. We've only just finished the session. It would be too quick to change it now, wouldn't it? Soapbox is... I don't know what that was. Doing a pirouette. Come on, Kevins. Oh, God. Kevin is just suicide diving into the barriers there. Please don't do that in the race because the collisions will be on!
Oh yeah, I've just seen that. That's a lovely little pirouette going on there.
This podium is only a test. The standings are only a test. Adjust your sets now. -5 seconds. Well, these times are very right. -23 seconds. So you got to last the longest, apparently. Remind us of our sponsors again.
I'll do that. So first off, GT Omega. If you head over there, you want some of the best sim racing equipment in the game, and you use the code PSGL at checkout, that will give you 5% off their products. And if you head over to Sim Racing Centre as well, if you want some setups or some potential coaching from a certain few professional esports drivers, you can use the same code PSGL at checkout, and that'll give you 10% off.
Ooh. Fancy.
I knew.
And I need to use the facilities. Be right back.
Well, let's... I've got a 3-minute conversation on my own. Hope everybody's doing okay. Should we try and get some predictions in for the race? For everybody that is still here, Lifeboat obviously incredibly quick in qualifying. Will go in as the favourite.
Sorry, the toilet's in use.
That was very quick. Who else have we got? I didn't actually see what the actual grid is, so I'm gonna get myself looking at that. Lifeboat from George Ansell. That was pretty close. Yeah, George Ansell's been very quick in qualifying recently. George Russell. I keep wanting to say George Mansell. So is Nigel Mansell, obviously.
Oh yes, they have a love child.
Jan looking good as usual in qualifying. Yasser, Saki, Lawrence the top 5. Finlay got bumped down a little bit. Anyone particularly out of position? Soapbox down in 12th. Epic Vale was only 9th, so didn't actually end up getting an improvement in. Wow.
Yes, exactly.
I wonder if the weather is going to be the same though, because oars, armbands, paddles, and maybe a boat more applicable for those kinds of conditions.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Apparently, the site X does job searches now. Blimmin' heck. What is there not? Oh boy.
Lawrence hasn't actually selected their car yet.
Oh no, apparently someone on Deal or No Deal gave away the top prize. Spoiler. If you don't know what Deal or No Deal is, ask the people from the Netherlands. They created it. They created the original format. Funny fact. It wasn't the Americans, it wasn't the Australians, it wasn't the Brits that created the show, it was the Dutch. In 2001.
Well done, Netherlands.
Yes, so they created Max Verstappen, and they also created Big Brother. In fact, they created a lot of game shows. They created The Mole. I think it was The Mole. It was either the Dutch or the Belgians that created that, but I know they're very close, so I guess you could say the Netherlands. And The Mole is the company that created it. But let's not talk about Big Brother. I've not watched Big Brother.
I was going to say, that it's not
used to watch as a kid.
Yeah. I wouldn't be as proud of creating Big Brother as I was Deal or No Deal.
I mean, it's a good concept. It's a social experiment, but then the business model changed, let's say, if you can use that kind of language. Just like the business model of Guinness World Records changed, and now they just do outrageous things for a woman diploma, which is alright. Wonder if we could ever set a Guinness World Record.
What would it be on?
Oh no. What? Guinness World Record? Oh, most... Gotta keep it clean because I can't say certain things.
Okay.
Most laps completed around Monaco without invalidating. Something like that. In a row. In a row.
Isn't Max from Belgium? That's actually not a bad point.
Oh, traitor.
He has got you there.
Well, Lewis Hamilton's from Monaco. He lives in Monaco. I mean, I wonder where he gets his fashion tips from. I want to know because I want his clothes. I want to wear his clothes. My dad doesn't like his fashion because he's boring.
A stylist, that's the word I'm looking for.
That's stylist, mate. No deal.
Still sorting the grid out. It's taking some time.
Oh.
There's less drivers than normal.
Oh no. Hurry up! No, I'm kidding, guys. I want them to take as long as possible because I need something.
Oh. Some beautiful ticks over on the right hand side.
5 seconds. Oh, that was quick. Than I thought. Reminder of the grid. It is George. No, it is. It is Lifeboat on pole.
Weather check. It is dry.
I thought they were supposed to keep it wet. There's the grid. I hope. Chris Rebel at the back for being DQ'd. Coolman's got a quali ban, so yeah, he starts in front of him. Alright, Ninja at the back as well. It'll be quite an interesting race. Ignore the tyres because, you know, we're waiting for players to start up. And this is the 4th round of 12 here in the PSGL F2 series.
Championship leader, only 9th on the grid. But if you remember last week in Spa, Epic Vale didn't qualify particularly highly either and still managed to battle all the way back through to finish in 2nd place. Another Haas 1-2, the 2nd of the season.
Yes.
So do not discount Epic Vale.
Holy smokes, they're going to get all the episodes of Jeopardy onto streaming services. Remember that show? It's an American show.
Is that the quiz show?
It's the one where you're given the answer, but you must respond in the form of a question.
Yes, I do know that.
This is PSGL. Johnny Gilbert saying, this is Jeopardy. This circuit has been the host. This was built on a man-made island and was also the home to the Olympic rowing. Psst, what is Circuit Gilles Villeneuve? Correct.
The legend, Gilles Villeneuve, of course. One of the greatest we have seen. Obviously, sadly taken too soon, but his legacy very much lives on, doesn't it?
Under Jacques Villeneuve, yes.
Not slight.
Well, he
not
won
quite
he
as good
won a
as Gilles.
championship to avenge his father.
Yeah.
Well, you got to give him that. Right. How are we doing? Because I don't have a reference of when we're going to get started. There's no clock. They need to add a clock in the next patch. And all the classic tracks.
Taking a while to get these setups loaded. Strategies,
Right,
there
here we go. 5 lights ahead of the drivers, although really it was free to start with. And we are underway. It's Lifeboat that has the best getaway, but look at this. Gian trying to get into the top 3 in the first corner as him and Yashir Saki come to blows, and the other Alpine is involved in the battle as well with Finlay. The other Mercedes up front there, as Epic Vale has already made a position. He's made another position. That's McKillany losing a position there and struggling to get around as Diogo Silva's coming up there as well. There could be a bit of a bottleneck heading into turn 6, but it looks like they're all okay.
2 RBs getting stuck into each other. Coolman on the medium compound tyre trying to get past his teammate Soapbox. Every other driver is on the white striped hard compound tyres. Very wide though into the turn 8 9 chicane is Fraser. That could leave him at the mercy of the Williams of even Nye.
And here comes even Nye. He's going to go for it and lap and go. Into the corner he goes through the smoke and he gets the job done. Or has he? No, Fraser has got the better speed out of the corner and stays ahead. Great defence from Fraser on the outside. And now Lifeboat comes toward the Wall of Champions for the first time tonight and will lead them out of the Wall of Champions and across the line for the first time for lap number 2 and DRS enabled.
George Ansell under a little bit of pressure from Yassir Saki. That Alpine shadowing every move for the Mercedes, currently with Jan in hot pursuit as well. Nobody dropping out of 1 second. It's been a very clean start, which we haven't always been able to say in the opening couple of laps of this season. Lifeboat, though, being kept in check, and actually Epic Vale has just got past Zane and lost a little bit of time, but should be able to pull that one back.
Coleman not made much ground. Actually, no, he has. He started P16. He's made up 3 positions as his teammates closing up on him with that medium tyre. Is it going to help? It won't help as long as the hard tyres, of course, but you probably need to make some moves as soon as possible if he wants to get up the order and cancel out any disadvantage he may have when coming into the pits. And that's Yassir Saki going for the move on the lipping goal. And they come to blows into the turn, and is he going to get it? No, he can't. He's going to have to do it with DRS on George Ansell for second place. This is, remember, but remember, George has also got the DRS, and so has everyone behind him.
Is attack going to be the best form of defence for the Mercedes? He wasn't quite close enough to get a true run on Lifeboat down into the final chicane. But yeah, just a little bit of rubbing is racing. Could we see a pass down into turn number 1? Though Epic Vale already made a move here. Are we going to shape over to the left-hand side? No, we are not. We retain the status quo and remain in formation.
Oh, look how close they are together, like literally pushing each other. How have they got... They've got so much trust, these drivers, despite all this fierce battling. How they stick together is crazy. By the way, I don't know if you spotted it. I spotted it from the corner of my eye. Epic Vale, as Coleman's already got a penalty. That's even worse for him. Epic Vale crossed the wall of champion chicane. He cut the chicane, so he's actually lost ground now because he had to slow down, as there's a gate you must go through if you go off the track there, or you get a penalty. So that's not very good for the driver that is in the... Well, I would say in the lead of the championship. Is he in the championship? Yes, he is in the lead of the championship. He has 41 points. So it's not. It's going to extend his lead, but the question is by how much? Because of the absence of the 2 drivers behind him in the pecking order. Well, anyway, back to the front. It is George Ansell trying to close up. It's only 4 attempts down, though, as Jan is closing up to Saki. Not much other battles happening though, so all quiet heading into lap number 4.
Yassir Saki was a little bit wide coming out of the final chicane, giving Jan a potential sniff up the inside, but bailing out of that one. Epic Vale with the fastest lap of the race, closing back up to the, what do we call it, a sextupler? I don't think that's quite the right word, but we're going to go with it anyway. The leading 6 after briefly dropping outside of the DRS range. It
sounds dirty, but you are saying it right. It is a sextuplet. Jan is coming right behind on Yassir Saki, but so is the Saki's teammate in the Alpine. Remember last Sunday, yes, folks, the double podium for Alpine, the first since they changed their name from Renault to Alpine, I think, as well. So, as we go through, they are starting to get much, much closer, they are. And is that a dummy move from Jan? Yes, it was. He's tending a ball, and Lifeboat's gone wide there. And George Ansell sensed the move, but he can't get it done. And he's going to have to chance here before the World Champions. Here we go. George Ansell, DRS on, and he's going to pass Lifeboat for the lead. Lifeboat has dominated this weekend, but it doesn't look like he's going to have that domination continue forever, as there's a battle for 3rd place as well. Jan gets through ahead of back to Yassir Saki, who headed the lead into the corner and the inside. There he goes, into the podium position.
That's 2 laps in a row. There's been a little bit of a mistake from Yassir Saki through the final chicane. This time made to pay for it as the Aston Martin fires through, but Lifebout still very close to the back of George Ansell. But a mistake from Lifebout. He's looked bulletproof so far tonight, but yeah, just a sign of maybe a little crack.
And the leading cars come through. There's a bit of a kerfuffle with Epic Vale and Finley. Epic Vale was going to try and make a move this for P6 on the road. Finley on the outside tried to defend, but Epic Vale, we know his racecraft is pretty strong, and I think he has forced Finley off the road there. I don't think he had much choice to go there. That maybe rolled up against the stewards. Finley ain't going to give it a fight. He's going down the outside, and he's closed in. He's turned in on Epic Vale. A bit of a... Oh, no, that's... No, you can't be doing that. I'm sorry, that is unacceptable. They both collide, and... Play. Yeah, the Eagle's coming in play, and now Diogo Silva is going to take this on a plate, as that is McKellar and Zane heading into battle as well. Diogo Silva saying, thank you very much, you fighting fiends. I'll take the position for myself. And now they are pretty much distant from the top 5, as that is the 2 Alpines falling behind, and that's Epic Vale. Finley getting ahead together again. Come on, guys, cooler heads have to prevail here. Epic Vale coming on the outside. Finlay needs to get his head into the game here.
You just feel like, for Epic Vale, he's the championship leader. His two closest championship rivals are not here this week. You can just chill out a little bit. Just all felt a little bit unnecessary, that.
Well, you can't really blame him for the move at turn 8 or turn 9. He's trying to fight. He should have given the position. He went on the outside, turned in a little bit on the hairpin, yeah. And then, who was it? Was it Finlay? As we've got an incident that is Nordic Ninja. As, oh dear, that's not a good sign. I thought we were going to have the whole track set on fire. But no, Nordic Ninja has had an incident and is at the back of the pack. Lifeboat is back in the lead. I completely missed that with everything happening behind him. But he was already in the lead to start with, as that is Zane and McKillany doing battle again. And that is Zane back into the lead. McKiller has to settle for 7th.
Yeah, Zane was compromised by the banging of heads between Epic Vale and Finlay, losing that position to the Kicks and 2 seconds to now the quintet in front, battling from 1st down to 5th. Got to try and get that back, but with the DRS, how powerful it is on this game, that's going to be a very high mountain to try and overcome.
Yeah, you've reminded me how powerful the DRS is on this game. Have you ever seen how they do it at Las Vegas? Oh gosh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? Tropic in the chat, what idiots. They lost more by that stupid battle than actually just letting it go. I would probably tend to agree with you. I maybe wouldn't call them idiots. I'd just say maybe just getting a little bit too wrapped up in the moment, I would say.
Oh, hello, James Head. Sorry I couldn't go. I wasn't focused on the chat all night. I have the chat open up here, but I'm more focused on it because my screen is right far away. And what is going on here? Seems like a bit of a battling into the hairpin, but is that Jan fighting for 2nd place? It is. Is it going to be 3 wide? There's George Ansel, and Jan's backing out, so it's not going to be 3 wide. It's going to be a change for the lead, and we're going to start completing the first 20% of this race. George Ansel leading ahead of Lightbout Jan, Saki, and Lawrence, 2 Alpines. McKiller and Zane fighting for Epic Vale's got past, and is that Finlay trying to get past as well? It is, and he has. And Diogo Silva back down to P10.
I have to say, you've really got to commend how sensible that was from Jan. The racecraft there wasn't willing to have a crash on only lap number 8 of this race. So props to the Aston Martin there holding station.
And Lifeboat is going to be under pressure for the first time in this race, it seems. Letting go of the lead, it seems tactical. And Coolman is battling with the other V-Carb, the other Red Bull car, the V-Carb. And that is Kevin's behind him, and he's getting close to them both. All the 3 drivers here in the back have DRS, and that is Lifeboat at Lepingle. The top 5 all together now as they come into the corner. Further back, we've got all these cars as well. Lots of smoke. What is going on? Someone started the fire as Lifeboat's going to try and take the lead again. There it is. Back into the lead he goes. What's going to happen any further back? Jan's closing up right there. And we'll stay with the top 3 for now as Epic Vale has made a move into P7.
Trying to leave Finlay in their wake, but not a particularly good run out of the final chicane. Here comes the silver arrow like an Exocet missile up behind the Haas. And the kicks out, but McKillany is up the inside. We got contact between a couple of cars. McKillany into the side of Zane and spinning as well. Finlay's involved. It's just a complete mess once again. And at the centre of it, I have to say, Finlay and Epic Vale for the 2nd time.
Chill out, guys. McKiller falls to 12th and behind his teammate in 11th. And Finlay and Epic Vale really need to cool their heads because their stewards are going to be looking at every single detail of this battle, and they could have harsh penalties handed against them for both incidents involving them as they continue to battle, and they're going to be approaching Zane at the same time. So will they have cooler heads prevail here, or will it be the same old story? Oh dear, is that Finlay had a bit of a jump there? I think there might be a lag issue on Finlay's end.
Potentially, I tell you what, Epic Vale was drifting his way around the hairpin, so not leaving any time on the table. George Ansel gets the lead back down into the final chicane. I want to keep an eye on the battle between the Haas and the Mercedes. The grudge match that's forming between the pair of them. I wonder if Epic Vale has damage. No, somehow keeping that front wing in pristine condition, but both dropping back behind the Aston Martin of Zane. Unnecessary, the word. I've just got to say it again. I don't know whether it's egos at play, one of them feeling that the other was at fault for the very first collision and then just sort of keeping that in the back of their minds, potentially. I don't know.
There's a bit of a fight between Kevin's and Coolman, and Kevin's wins that battle and gets ahead of Coolman, who's still in the medium tyres. Don't seem to be doing the trick today, and he's got another 3-second penalty, so it's going from bad to worse for the V-Carb driver today.
Yasisaki was very close to the back of Jan coming out of turn number 7, but had a bit of a wobble and lost a little bit of time again. Has still got his teammate ET8 Lawrence very close behind. Those two Alpines biding their time at the moment, as Jan has done. Very happy to watch George Ansell and Lifebout swap positions in the early stage, and I think it's going to happen once again. Oh, yellow flag.
It is Coleman, I think. Well, it's gone now. And that is going to be a change for the lead again. And is that Jan getting involved as well? He's got to be careful not to mess around too much. And he is. He backs out at the right time. And that is another battle happening. And that's Zane and Epic Vale. And Finley as well. Finley in 6 now. And their battling is only just increasing the gap between them and the top 5. 4.5 seconds it is now.
I'm not sure how much of it you caught, but it was as Coolman retires in the pits. It was Epic Vale trying to go up the inside into the final chicane, got past Zane, Finlay got through as well, wanted to get past that Aston Martin. I think eventually he picks up a 3-second penalty as well. Eventually realising that Sense having to prevail and backing out of it.
Yeah, he does. So, lap 11, we're almost a third through the race, and Lifeboat still leads after his brief jostles with George Ansell, but of course, long way to go. We've still got pit stops. That's a move from George Ansell before the hairpin. Now, is this tactical from Lifeboat? Let's find out. He's done it before. Has he done it before the detection zone? Maybe not. Has he got the DRS?
I actually think he made a mistake going through the 8-9 chicane. That's why he lost the position and then just decided to give it up, and he hasn't managed to get the DRS.
Tactical.
This is Jan's opportunity.
Here he comes, through into second place. Lifeboat falls down below the top 2 for the first time, but in turn he's got a penalty. Oh dear, you don't want to be doing that.
As soon as everything starts looking good for Jan, makes a mess of it, picks up a 3-second penalty, and we're only a third of the way through the race. Yasisaki pushing Lifebout through the first couple of corners. The second mistake we've seen from the McLaren was bulletproof in qualifying, not so in the race so far, making a few little errors.
Yeah, he is. He's going to be very careful now. And all the drivers have to do. Can you check the race director, see what the warnings are for each driver, please? Because I can't cheat because I'm broadcasting the race.
Yes, sir. Obviously, Jan's got 3, just picking up that penalty. I haven't seen any so far for Lifebout. There are a couple in there, though, for George Ansell. Oh, boy. So this could be Lifebout's after all. He's pretty much been the driver that's kept it the most clean throughout this first part of the race. Lifebout in 3rd place right now, and he's going to have an opportunity to get back at Jan and George Ansell in the coming laps. First it will be Jan, he will have DRS as well, but who has the better racecraft? Let's find out as they head towards the final chicane. Jan going to try and chase for the lead. Lifebout going to try and chase for that 2nd place back. He can't do it though, so they're going to stay behind him for now, but uh-oh, here we go. The battle we all came to see, where all the money is, and Epic Vale has passed Finley for 6th place again. But remember, Epic Vale's got a penalty, so it will be cancelled out at the end of the race if he should stay 3 seconds down. They are pulling themselves back towards that quintet leading. It was 4.6 seconds. Epic Vale now only 3.9 behind. If Epic Vale and Finlay can put their differences aside, they could catch this group of cars. George Ansell very slow through turn 6 and 7 though. Could this be an opportunity for more swapping of places? Lifeboat very close to the back of the Aston Martin. Got to be careful if they brake too early, and that could harm the driver behind them, and that might ruin their race. They're so close together, heading into the hairpin. Now what's going to be the move from Jan? Stays behind, I don't blame him. Fraser and Evan Nye are battling, and that's 10th place for Fraser now, but back to the front now. Is Jan going to get his first taste of the lead despite that penalty? Let's find out. Looks so easy when it gets past him, but now is that Lifeboat going to get through? Yes, it is. Lifeboat gets through as well. George down to 10th. Bit of contact as well. Lifeboat was very late on the brakes, just pushed Jan over the curbs at the final chicane. Both of them managing to keep it out of the wall and facing in the right direction, but a bit of a Code Brown moment potentially for both drivers. Yes, indeed. Code Brown. We all know what it means. I thought it was something else in the, Anyway, Jan now in the lead here in the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Lap 14, 40% of the way through as Chris Rebel is in the naughty books.
He must now sit on the naughty step at the end of the race. Top 5 still well close knit together. If they keep battling, these guys here could come behind them. It would be a game of bluff. If they overdo their game of bluff, everything's on the table.
Finlay and Epic Vale definitely catching not a particularly good run there into the hairpin. Bit of a concertina effect. Jan locking all 4 tyres.
And he hit him. Lifeboat hit him. So he's got to be careful now. How he just tackles these corners with them tyres going out as Lifeboat gets back into the lead.
Easy as you like. Made a bit of a mess of it there. The Aston Martin down into the hairpin. Thankfully no damage for anybody in this train as Epic Vale and Finlay continuing to work together and continuing to get closer and closer to this group. McKillany with another penalty. I think we could be seeing a lot of those handed out. It's nearly under 3 seconds though.
Jan's made a mistake in turn 2 and he's lost a lot of time to Lifeboat. He's now 6 tenths down. And remember, he's got that 3-second penalty as well. And that 3-second penalty persists. Epic Vale's closing up now. This is not looking good for Jan. He keeps making mistakes, then he could fall behind these guys.
100%, yeah. It seems like the driver in the lead never actually wants to be in the lead of the race. We're seeing mistakes from everybody that's held first position. Tom Roberts, you have just worked it out, but George Ansell not with a dead battery, thankfully, for all the fans of the Mercedes driver. This leading group of 5 still working together, but Epic Vale, who was very wide there, still catching. That is now, well, very shortly going to be under 3
he's
seconds.
touched him! And George Ansell and Jan have touched, and they could be going to more again. They're now losing it. There could be a second down on Lifeboat. This is looking much, much better for Lifeboat, but I think they'll close the gap here.
Making heavy weather of this, aren't they?
They are, yeah. And Epic Vale and Finlay finally putting their grudges aside and seemingly to try and work together to get closer, but this time they've actually fallen down in terms of time. They're now 3.2. They were 2.8 earlier.
Not losing too much though, and in the grand scheme of things we're not even halfway through the race at this stage. Bit of a wobble coming out of turn 2 for George Ansell, but keeps it going nicely. These hard tyres are going to start to be feeling a little bit worse for wear. They'll be thinking about the medium tyres shortly, you would imagine. Nobody has made their first stop of the race as Soapbox picks up a 3-second penalty, the 6th driver to do so.
And Epic Vale's made a mistake in turn 6. You see he's losing time now to Finlay. And Lifeboat's lead is now 8 tenths. Just under 8 tenths.
Yeah, Jan's got some battery left, so I don't think it's maybe is just a lack of pace for the Aston Martin now, or potentially Lifeboat deciding this is the time to turn the afterburners on, trying to get this group out of DRS and then drive off into the sunset. Look, it's 8 tenths of a second now. It's going to be pulled back with the DRS, but this will be worrying a little bit for Jan and the three cars behind the Aston Martin.
And Epic Vale and Finlay swap positions again. And that was not the best exit from either of them. And they're going to be very close together into the corners as Yasser Saki and George Ansell get close as well. Seems to be cooling down a bit now, the battles. I think they might be working together. Remember, we've got pit stops as well. They will be crucial. Because, of course, the strategy is it's hard medium, yes.
They're not working together particularly efficiently though, because like you pointed out a couple of laps ago, they keep losing time down the main straight, or the back straight, sorry, which shouldn't be happening at all because Finlay has got some slipstream and DRS to boot as well. So I don't know whether they're just trying to save their battery. If I'm Epic Vale and Finlay, I'm going to be burning my battery to catch these guys up because that could decide the context of the race.
Absolutely. So coming through, it is Lifeboat, Jan, George Ansell. Gap now 7 tenths still. Seems like Lifeboat is prevailing in this duel between the top 5. Jan and George Ansell there as well. Just can't seem to get that close. Now they're within 3 tenths. Can they actually try and mount a way to close the gap? 3.6 now. They're losing more time at the top, at the 6 below against the top 5. This is not looking good for them. So it might all come to the pit stops here.
Or if we see another tight battle between some of the drivers in this leading group.
Yes, we could. Because Finlay and Epic Vale now 3.4. If there's a few battles, they could get within 2 in the next few laps.
Oh, Yasser Saki, that's another big name at the front to pick up a penalty. 3 seconds. Has anybody got 6 seconds? Yes, McKillany with 6 seconds. Everybody else currently holding 3 as we have approached half distance.
We have. And there's a big lock up there, if it might have been for Lawrence, as they approach the hairpin once again. The 18th time we've been at this hairpin, and now Jan is finally within range again for a chance to get the lead. We want to get the lead here? Make your mind up. Let's find out. Jan, George Ansel, all approaching Lifeboat. I don't think they're going to get close enough. No. Not close enough. And Epic Vale and Finlay, guess what? They've swapped positions again.
But losing time still, or it's maybe stabilised a little bit. 3.3, Jan under pressure, massive wobble going through turn 1. That was another code Bravo as Chris Rebel retires in the pits. I think Kevin's might be joining them.
Yeah, well, he's not got a penalty. He seems to be pitting early here. But Jan, luckily there, he might have to go into the pits. When he gets in the pits, he probably has to change his underwear as well as his tyres.
Yes, a bit of a longer pit stop. Yase Saki, by the way, has dropped out of DRS range, just about getting it back, but a mistake from the Alpine now.
Yeah, he's got to get that DRS on. I think he'll get the DRS range back. Yes, he will. So now the gap between 5th and 6th is 2.7. It's closing down again.
Courtesy of that Yasisaki mistake, I would imagine. But Epic Vale and Finlay not showing anything like the pace they need to try and catch this group at the moment. Still struggling to make any real inroads, biding any mistakes from the drivers in front. Are we going to see anyone dive into the pits? We're over half distance. None of the leading group do. Yes, they do. As Lawrence very late in the Alpine.
And everyone, and Epic Vale and Finlay as well, crucially.
How powerful is this undercut going to be? We'll have to wait and see.
Well,
Lawrence could be leading the race.
Oh no! Oh no! They've been given the warning shots. They've got to keep it clean now, the top 4. And Zane there as well, 4.4 down, as the other drivers who have pitted go for mediums, as he should. Lawrence has it all to do now. He's got to make sure he gets this lap very nicely done. Otherwise, it'll be a big chance gone a miss. Coming through 3 and 4 right now on these new tyres. Bit cold when you start because you know you don't heat them up anymore. They've not been doing that for ages. But he's looking very nicely through them corners. Oh, Lifeboat's made a mistake! And here's an opportunity for Jan to take the lead. This is when you're supposed to pit, guys. He has to go for it now, surely, Jan. This is not good news for Lifeboat and the drivers behind. Because now, here comes Jan. He's going to take a lead. And is he going to pit now? If he is, then he's going to get the lead in the pits. Yes, he does. And they're all in. But now, where's Lawrence? There he is on the back stretch. As Zane's staying out.
I think there was a bit of contact between Lifeboat and Jan, by the way.
Oh, yeah. And that
He's ahead of him.
Is he?
Yeah. Well, my screen is. Lifeboat's ahead of Jan.
Oh, dear. He's lost that position he already had back. Oh, no. But where's Lawrence? There he is. And he's shoved George Ansel. So it has worked. And he's going to have a chance at the leaders. As we've lost T-Dub again.
Yeah, it's not ideal at all, that for Jan in the Aston Martin. I think Lawrence is going to be chomping at the bit as the Aston Martin front is absolutely seething after being chucked back behind the McLaren. Yeah, that was quite a strange one. But Lifeboat is back in the lead, so Jan, his opportunity was all for naught. And now they're going to be closing up on Soapbox. That's another mistake from Lifeboat. He goes a bit wide at that hairpin. And now, Jan and Lawrence are going to have their first battle. They've stayed very quiet as Lawrence throughout this battle. And now he's going to have an opportunity to try and take second place on the net battle. As the Soapbox is pit, but Zane and McKinley said, no, not yet. Are they banking on a safety car? Potentially, although it feels like a risky strategy. Finlay with the penalty. Epic Vale with the fastest lap, though. 2.2 seconds now, the gap between 7th and 8th place. Is this the time? Is this a chance for the Haas and the Mercedes to get back in this race? Oh boy. Oh boy. So Lifeboat still leads, but it's not as easy as it was. Well, it hasn't been easy at all. He's lost the lead at a couple of places. He was third at one point.
And then he thought he lost the lead in the pits, but no, the pit lane said no, and that is Yasuo Saki closing up to George Ansel, by the way. Look how close they are. These drivers have stayed together the whole race. And now the gap's close to 1.9. This is getting very exciting.
Oh, Yasuo Saki nearly into the back of George Ansel. Jan's now wide through the hairpin.
Oh,
People
no.
really struggling through turn number 10. Lawrence very close. Will they try and capitalise with the helping hand of DRS? George Ansel was slow coming off the hairpin as well.
Yeah, they are. Here they come then. As Zane has pit. Jan now coming out of the corner. He'll have DRS again. Is he going to catch Lifeboat into the first corner? No, he's not.
George Ansel's wide again, just not travelling any apexes at the moment. That Mercedes maybe a little bit rattled, having fallen into an Alpine sandwich. George Ansel is under significant pressure from Yasuo Saki every time they make a mistake. The gap behind has stabilised 2 seconds now to Epic Vale, was 1.9 on the previous lap.
Yeah. So now the gap is just 2 seconds between Saki and Vale, as Jan's starting to close up again. McKiller is now in the lead, but he's yet to pit, and if he's not banking for the safety car, then I don't know what is. As you see, he's struggling through the hairpin. Oh, don't do that. Is he...
Oh.
What is going on?
George Ansel getting a little bit greedy, trying to go around the outside, and that's left him potentially vulnerable to Yasuo Saki. This is just going to help Epic Vale and Finlay close even more, you would imagine.
Jan takes the lead!
Oh, yes, we do.
Jan takes the lead and into... Well, I say the lead, it's McKiller, but McKiller's not pit yet. This is the real battle. Jan is... Oh, Lifeboat's had a bad exit out of the World Champions. Now Lawrence has got a chance to close up.
I feel like we don't usually see this many mistakes from drivers when they're in the pack. If you remember back to Spa last week, I think everybody was pretty consistent. Maybe overdriving, trying to push incredibly hard to hold on to track position. Oh, as George Ansel had 2 warnings quite early on, now picks up a 3rd and a 3-second penalty. Just Lifeboat and Lawrence yet to pick up a penalty in this leading group.
Look at all these penalties. There's so many of them. Another one
now has got one as well.
The list just gets longer.
Epic Vale, by the way, has got 6 seconds.
So Yasuo Saki's going to try and make a move on George Ansel on the outside and towards the hairpin. Goes on to the outside and goes for the move. Is there going to be any response from George? He covers the inside. He nearly shoves him into the wall, but he leaves him enough room for him to try and rise the move again, but he can't make it. Can he make it here? They've both got DRS heading down towards the final chicane. Is there the move? There's the move from Yasuo Saki and George Ansel. Oh no, he's been a little swingly out to the final corner, but he holds on. Into 4th he goes. And he gets another penalty.
I can't believe that George Ansel started recharging halfway down the straight. Yasuo Saki, he dropped back a little bit.
Why would you do that? George Ansel now is down to net 6 and is now 1.8 ahead of Epic Vale. Oh, it's getting closer behind.
Lawrence, by the way, 0.9, 1 second, has just got the DRS down this straight. Mistake from Lawrence in the first sector.
Yes, indeed. So now we look at Jan now leads, and Lifeboat. Technically, Lifeboat's still the leader of this race. So he has no penalties.
Yes, got to keep it clean though. Which isn't easy to do.
Killer doesn't have to let them through. Remember, he's on the lead lap. He's not pit yet. And this is going to help Jan here if he can get past. And he does get past, so he's in the lead proper now. But Lifeboat's not going to get past him. This may be bad news for Lifeboat. If Jan can build a big enough gap, then he is in great optimist control. But I don't think it's going to last long, because there it is. Lifeboat gets through. Now this might help Lifeboat.
Yeah, Lawrence nowhere near the kick Sauber at the moment. The top 2 could escape away, and that'll be music to the ears of Jan with that 3-second penalty looming over the Aston Martin's head. And if McKinley can push the Alpines back into the pack, that'll be absolutely ideal. And Epic Vale, 2.6 seconds off the back of that group as well. Those two are, not swapping DRS particularly efficiently at the moment. 10
laps to go. Anyone's race as it stands. Lawrence is starting to lose ground. He was the driver that undercut him, his teammate, and George Ansel. And now Lawrence is not anywhere close to McKiller. You think McKiller would give up the ghost soon. It probably banking on a safety car, as we have already alluded to, as he's going to try and make a move now. He's got to make it now, otherwise he's going to be in deep trouble. No DRS from McKiller. Oh, there is DRS from McKiller. McKiller playing spoiler in. It doesn't seem to be making a move. Is he thinking he's going into the pits now? He's not. Oh, and look at that. A bad exit for McKiller, and he's still not being passed. Lifeboat and Jan are going to have a chance to run away with it.
Lawrence, dead battery. That's why, but a little mistake there from
no.
McKiller, just going slightly wide. Is this the opportunity for the Alpine? This is not a regulation overtaking position. Bit of contact, bit of bumping and grinding. Yasser Saki trying to swoop around the outside and making mincemeat. And now George Ansell coming through as well. This is going to be 3 places lost in the space. It's 3 corners, but George Ansell's way too late on the brakes.
And again, he's hit him twice. Okay, the Lawrence overtake, I say it's fair game. He had the corner. Yasser Saki as well, but McKillany and George Ansell, I'm not sure about.
Oh, George is very slow now, getting out of the way of his teammate Finlay.
Epic Vale is here, Finlay's here, they've all joined the fight. And now they're fighting freeways.
I don't think he's got any damage.
All bets are off. I don't have any damage. They're still racing, and now they're both going to have DRS here. Epic Vale ahead.
Slow.
Yeah, he is. Yasser Saki right behind his teammate. 1.7 the gap between second and third. McKiller has turned this race on its head.
And is still staying out. This is the definition of goal hanging, by the way. 27 laps on a set of hard compound tyres. His pace, to be fair, isn't actually too bad.
George is now down to 8th. And the lead is now... This is actually good news for Gian. He might get a podium out of this. I think he will, actually. Yeah, he definitely will. Yeah.
Yasser Saki's got... Oh,
Finley's
Finlay,
got a
penalty
again. Right, we're going to change the screen now to the penalties. 9 seconds for McKiller. Why is he fighting? Let's be honest here. Why would you fight? Look, he's had to force Epic Vale off the road.
That's debatable. I mean, Epic Vale's launched it around the outside.
Yeah, fair enough. And now George Ansell's going to try and get his revenge. He's not happy with the way that McKillany's driven, and now Fraser. Oh, dear me. How did he not crash? As there is a move for the lead. Lifeboat finally gets ahead. Sorry, cut away from that. Yasser Saki's passed his teammate, and Lawrence is now on the penalty. This is all Lifeboat now.
Lawrence had a podium place in the bag without that, but has potentially thrown it away in that second Alpine car. Now going to have to race his teammate Yasser Saki for position.
Yeah, so this pretty much is very nice for Fraser. If he can close
George
up.
Ansell. McKillen has got back past. George Ansell took a trip through the grass, as did the kick Sauber, and now giving a punt down into turn number 4.
Come on, this is getting over the line now. He punted him. I'm not sure if that was a glitch or what, but come on. Where is the... what's happened here? Lifeboat has been passed by Jan. Now, what is going on? Oh, the rule book is being thrown out of the window here. And Lifeboat... is Lifeboat let Jan go?
I'm not sure. I'm just going to have another look at the race director to see if I can see any corner cutting warnings for the McLaren, so just bear with me.
Yep.
Doesn't look like Lifeboat's on any warnings.
Epic Vale and Finlay going to come to battle again.
Lifeboat with 0 warnings so far.
Good and right. Lifeboat's probably being the cleanest driver here. Oh, look at this. Evan Nye gets past George Ansell too. My goodness. McKiller finally goes in the pits, but he nearly collects George Ansell.
Nearly went bowling into the pit lane there, and it was a Mercedes set of Skittles that were nearly struck.
A strike it nearly was, but no, it's a gutter ball. Lifeboat still 4 attempts. Yeah, I had to do that one. 4 attempts down is Jan. Jan is still leading, but he has a 3-second penalty. Evan Nyes gets a 13-second penalties now. He's got another 3 seconds there. And this seems like Lifeboat's got it in bag, but if he got to keep it clean, he's got to stay out of trouble.
Fraser could be another one to pick up a bucket load of places. No penalties for the kicks out, but definitely going to finish ahead of Finlay and Epic Vale. And if they can close up a little bit more to the 2 Alpines, who are on more than 3 warnings, could end up finishing comfortably in the top 5, maybe even higher.
The kick Sauber strategy. is coming to plan, and now Lifeboat is going to try and pass Gian, but he's not going to be close enough. I don't see why you should pass him here. He's not got any penalties. He's playing it nice and safe. He's got no battery either, has Gian. Oh, and Finlay goes off the road. Finlay goes off the road and he loses a place. The Fraser now is into 6th place, and he is right up there to Epic Vale, and George and Evan going into a battle as well, and George into 8th place, but Evan and I's got 13 seconds penalties.
Lawrence has just tapped the barrier, already been dropped by the trio in front, as Leonardo has already pointed out, but very lucky not to get damaged, because it was a pretty hard whack of the barrier going through turn number 4.
Yeah. What's next? Are we going to have another safety car? Imagine that. And Jan's made a mistake out of turn 9, and Lifeboat has not taken the bait. He's gonna stay there with him, and he shouldn't be making a move, and he doesn't make a move. The only driver that can really beat him here is Fraser, unless he gets a 3-second penalty, does Lifeboat. But I don't see that happening, considering how he's driven. He's going to get past Jan now. And there it is, Lifeboat back into the lead. He nearly so close to Jan, but he keeps it together and gets out of there. Now back in the lead proper.
Oh, Fraser under pressure. George Ansell, whose race has just completely capitulated in the last 5 laps. Ever since McKillen came on the scene and the Mercedes tried to get past the Kick Sauber, it has very much all gone south. He's going to finish in the points at the moment, losing a place to Diogo Silva, but picking a couple up from Finlay and from even Nye potentially. He's got 13 seconds worth of penalties. Jan is being dropped though. Lifeboat is bolting, saved up a bucket full of charge, was comfortably over 90%, now trying to dump it and get that Aston Martin out of DRS range, which has been done successfully.
Wow. Cannot be tamed, this Lifeboat. He's dominated this whole thing.
And that leaves Jan potentially at the mercy of Yasir Saki, but burning what is left in that Aston Martin's battery pack to get back in the DRS range of the McLaren. It was very, very close. Has he done it? Well,
we'll have to find out. Epic Vale has got past Finlay. Now he's trying to fend him off as the same time he's chasing Epic Vale. He's got no battery.
Oh, Finlay's got past Fraser, by the way.
Yep. Fraser's got no battery left, but I don't think he needs it because he's got no penalties. Fraser has.
George Ansell getting back past Stephen Nye, but almost smashing into the wall of champions there and allowing the Williams straight back through with 3 laps to go.
Lifeboat finished 12th last race. He's got no points. Joined the race season last season, and he's going to go right up into the top 10 with a win here, because this has been fantastic. He played it pretty much to perfection. He's been the coolest customer in Canada.
Fraser could get a P4 because Lawrence is now on 6 seconds worth of penalties.
Oh, you see lots of smoke in this car. It's mental seeing that. Epic Vale and Finlay going to do a last dance with death. And they have dueled a lot. They had that incident out of this corner earlier on, but seem to have cooled their heads a little, which is good to see. Hopefully they can keep that on to the end of the race as Yasir Saki closing up, as Epic Vale has been passed by Finlay. It's just not been Epic Vale's day. He's not been on the podium. As George Ansell, what's happened to George Ansell? He's down to 11th.
Yep, daylight robbery. Lost 3 places down the straight. Diogo Silva flying past all 3 of them in that Papaya McLaren car. Having to defend from Evan Nye, jinking all over the place, and does hold on to 8th place. Doesn't have a penalty looming over their head, so could inherit some places. Finlay's up to 9 seconds of penalties. Fraser and Diogo Silva could be 4th and 5th here.
Oh dear. Lifeboat, even if he gets a penalty here, it won't matter. You still win the race by miles.
The King of Canada. Soapbox with a penalty as well. Only 4 drivers, sorry, Nordic Ninja down in 15th place. 4 drivers haven't picked up a penalty.
The King of Canada is King Charles III.
No, it is not. It is Lifeboat.
Oh, they've overthrown him. What a shame. Yasir Saki going to try and make a bid. That's for 2nd place on the track, and it will be for 2nd place. They're too far ahead to lose the position. Yasir Saki into 2nd.
Lifebout's done a really good job of stretching this race. Jan is not going to be happy at all by that, though, because it's cost him a second position. And Yasusaki now charging after the McLaren onto the final lap of the race. Lawrence is 3.5 seconds further back. Finlay with 9 seconds and Epic Vale with 6 seconds, respectively, though, means Lawrence could hold on to 5th place with Fraser sat just behind that pair.
Oh, and that's George Ansell trying to get on the outside of Zane. And he looks to have done it. Yes, he has. Or has he? He's going to try and strike back. As he closes up to Evan Nye as well. As Evan Nye gets another penalty. He's on 16 seconds of penalties. 16 seconds. But Lifeboat, look how fantastic he has driven today. He got
an
pole.
Absolute masterclass.
He led the entire qualifying session. He led pretty much into the top 3 of this race. He played it to perfection. He played it safe. He didn't do anything crazy. And I don't even think he got any warnings. But now, Lifeboat is going to come across to the final 2 corners and take off what has been one of the most dominant weekends in PSGL, as Nordic Ninja will not be getting any points for that penalty. Lifeboat takes the victory ahead of Yasuyasaki, ahead of Jan. And I don't think it's going to be Lawrence that's going to be getting the 4th place. It's Fraser with a 4th place. What a result for him. Lawrence gets 5th, an opportunity gone amiss for him. Epic Vale off the podium for the first time. Diogo Silva finishes in 6th. Finlay finishes in 7th. Sorry, Diogo Silva finishes. Finlay finishes 8th. George Ansell finishes 9th. And Zane gets the last point. No one's getting the fastest lap point, I think. Nope. No one gets the fastest lap point. So, 17 out of 18 points for Lifeboat. Pole position and the win.
Congratulations. And that is a perfect example of keeping it out of trouble, keeping your nose clean. Same goes for Fraser. Crossed the line only in 7th, I believe, but finishing in 4th because of the truckload of penalties that everybody had. Yeah, Finlay got 9 seconds, was bumped down into 8th place. Diogo Silva benefiting as well, getting a nice haul of points to try and support McLaren's Constructor Championship push, with only one Haas taking part.
Yeah, Lifeboat becomes the first driver this season to convert pole to the win. It is Lifeboat on top in Canada. My word, what a drive. It's very rare you see those kind of drives around in PSGL, but my, what have we seen? That was fantastic.
Absolutely. One of the best performances I think we've seen all season, really, because a lot of the time we've seen people dueling over the lead, batting very hard. For the majority of that, Lifeboat was in complete control. Even when they dropped behind cars, you always thought Lifeboat was going to come back through. Didn't quite get the fastest lap. That was taken by McKillen. Yasisaki, very good drive, along with Jan to finish 2nd and 3rd. Fraser staying out of trouble to pick up 4th. Lawrence in 5th, head of Epic Vale. Diogo Silva from 10th up into 7th. The 2 Mercedes, disappointing evening for the pair of them. Finlay down to 8th. George Ansell from the front row to 9th. And Zane picking up the final points paying position.
I've just realised November 25th is actually a break week. I'm working that day. Thank goodness. I miscalculated. I might be doing Monaco after all.
Rejoice.
Yes, a perfect night for Lifeboat. Gets everything except the fastest lap, but let's be honest, the fastest lap is a little bit exaggerated considering the driver who got it didn't get it. Fraser finishing, at 11th, finished 4th. George Ansell, the biggest loser, I'd say, 2nd to 9th.
Yes, definitely. Only 2 retirees. Yeah, 2 retirees. It was Coolman at the bottom and Chris Rebel as well.
Epic Vale stays in the lead of the championship. Increases his points by a bit.
I think Sergioli will be pretty satisfied, though, with the way that has panned out. Could have been significantly worse for the second Haas, with 2 wins this season and a DNF and now missing this race. Still very much in the game.
So what are we doing next week? Well, we will be off to Qatar, which has, of course, been in the game since last year. The host of the World Cup back in 2022, which was quite something. Yes, it will be home to the 5th round of PSGL, so you better tune in. That will be at the same time, 8:30 Not 8:30, 7 o'clock. 8:30 is usually when I finish work most nights. And you can tune in then, of course, on the same channel. Right now is PlayStation F1. That should be in its process of starting the race now. Remember to get those discount codes PSGL at GT Omega and Sim Racing Centre. And I will bid you a very good night. Thank you for coming along to watching along. And T-Dub as well, thank you for coming alongside me despite the technical difficulties. We got there in the end. But it was
eventually, yes.
It was a dominant night from Lifeboat. Well done to him. He deserved that, and I'm sure results very provisional, obviously, but I think Lifeboat, he didn't put a foot wrong there.
Absolutely not. Thank you everybody for joining us. We will see you next week in Qatar. Well, we won't be in Qatar, but virtually
we
we'll
are
be there, of course.
Anyway, see you later, guys.